All right, let's talk about the ups and downs of Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. I do have some thoughts. Let me just start here. I really enjoyed this game. This formula is a very fun one for me. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with roguelikes because I love the formula, and this game does it. I won't say it's definitely, there are other games out there that are better, but it's got a good formula of like getting all the permanent currencies and then the runs on the upgrade and getting your build together, and you got all these different synergies that work together and all that stuff. It just does that really well. Basically, in a nutshell, if you like Hades, you will like this game, just not quite as much. That's what this game is. It is a shameless Hades clone. It is. I've played some games that are a lot like Hades, like Curse of the Dead Gods, and there's a couple others, but like this game's way more like Hades than any other game I've ever played. It is very Hades. The way it looks, the way the upgrades work, the way the weapons work, the way the dialogue and stuff happens between runs, and you unlocking different things for different characters, all that stuff. It's so much. It's shamelessly like Hades. Now, I don't like blatant ripoffs. All right, I guess I don't like the idea of them. But honestly, if you're going to give me a ripoff of a game, you could do a lot worse than ripping off of Hades. And it does a pretty good job of making that kind of a game. Even though it is obviously a shameless ripoff, it is very fun. It's a lot of fun. It's not as good as Hades, but it's like B-Team Hades. You know, I won't even say Kmart or Dollar Tree Hades. It's more like, you know, Target Hades, and this is Hades is like, you know, I don't know, what's a nice store? It's like Target level. It's like a B-Team Hades game, and it's very good at it. It's very good at it. It's not Hades. It's not, everything about Hades is better than this game. The weapon variety, the move variety, the combat variety, the enemy variety, the story, the difficulty, the unlockables, all that stuff is better in Hades. Everything, the graphics, whatever. Everything that you can think of that's good about a game is better in Hades than this. But none of the things in this game are bad. There are a couple of little complaints I have. We'll get to those in a second. But nothing about this game is bad. As far as... I think one of the things that I really liked about this game is that some roguelikes... I'm thinking Balatro, Slay the Spire, and a couple other ones. Those are great games, don't get me wrong. But they have this issue with them where, like, if you get the right combination together, you can freaking break the game and just get like a god run going. This game is a lot more balanced than that. You can't... There was never any point where I was like, oh, dude, I got this certain number of perks together and suddenly I'm an unstoppable monster. That happens in a lot of roguelikes, and it's a little bit annoying. I mean, it's fun, but it's also like, okay, well, I was on level 2, and there's 4 levels in this game, and I just blew through 3 and 4 without even having to really try. That's happened to me in a lot of roguelikes. It did not happen in this one. I think it does a really good job of keeping the pacing going. I never really stagnated, but I never got to a point where it's like, oh, suddenly I blew through the 3rd level or something. That never happened. It was like, okay, this run, you know, I struggled a little bit with one of the bosses, but then after the second world boss, I beat that, and then I got a little bit into the 3rd level and died, and then the next time I got to the 3rd level boss and then died, and then the next time I beat that 3rd level boss, but I died very early in the 4th level, and then the next one after that I got further into the 4th level. It was very, for the most part, there was some, you know, I had some hiccups, but for the most part, it was a nice little incremental increase in my progress. This game, maybe it was just luck, but the game it seems to me like the game is very well balanced, that it keeps... I never had a run that was just garbage. I've had runs in Hades that were just garbage. I got bad upgrades, nothing worked together, everything was... I've just killed myself to the 2nd level boss because everything was going poorly. That never happened in this game. It's very good at being really balanced with everything it gives you. It gives you... you can have runs that are better than others for sure, but I never had any where it was like, oh, everything I get is garbage. And I also never had any where it was like, oh, this stuff works way too well together and it's too easy now. It's very challenging. This game is very challenging, but it's never overwhelming. It got close a couple of times. Anyway, I did have a couple of little issues. The UI does a pretty bad job sometimes of explaining some of the perks on the things, on the pickups that you get during the games. Several times there would be something where it would say, "Oh, you can sell this to get gold," blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, there's no sell mechanic in this game. What it meant was like you could choose money over something else, but several things were poorly worded, and so like there's something called multicast in this game. I still don't understand how it works. It's something where it's like certain spells will trigger twice or something, but it never. There's nothing in the tutorials about it. It never explains how it works. There might have been one splash tutorial page thing that showed up when the first time I picked it up or something, maybe. But those things don't last very long, and I couldn't go back to it, and I'm not even sure that even happened. It would just seem insane that there's nothing, right? So there must have been something like that. But the game's tutorial section is crap. It's pretty bad. It's about half as big as it needs to be. There's several mechanics in this game that this game just never really explains. I had to look several things up. It's like, okay, what is this mechanic? Because I've looked everywhere in the menu and I don't know what X is, and it's acting like I should know what it is. This game does a bad job of gaslighting you by like just throwing shit and it's just pretending it's always been there. And so that was a little bit of an issue. I guess the only other complaint I'll give is like, while I love the art direction in this game, I loved the first Lost in Random. Big fan of that game. This is obviously much different, but in the first game, I loved the art direction. This very obviously Tim Burton-esque stop motion claymation looking thing is great. And it's great in this game too. But the first game also had an incredible story. And this game does not have an incredible story. It's got a lot of callbacks to the first game. But if you haven't played the first game, you won't know what the hell is going on. In fact, if you haven't played I understood the broad strokes because I'd played the first game, even though that was a couple of years ago and some change. But if you haven't played that, you won't have any idea what's going on. And it doesn't really matter because the story's just not very good anyway. So it's just like, I was just like skipping through dialogue. Like, yeah, let's get back to the combat, please. The story's just not very interesting in this game, and it's heavily reliant on understanding of the first game. So not big on that. But it didn't really, that didn't bother me. It's just like when I compare this to something like Hades, which is obviously inspired by, like, Hades has a fucking amazing story and this game does not. So that's something that, points deducted for that. It was technically, it was great. I didn't really run into any bugs or anything. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this game because I like this formula so much. This game doesn't do anything to innovate in any way, really. But it does things that have already been done pretty well. It's a really, really fun game. And the only real flaws I thought of were a couple of, like, in the UI with the tutorials and stuff. Outside of that, it is just a not as good Hades. But Hades is one of the best games ever made, so it's kind of hard to top that. But it's very good. It's just not... If you like Hades, absolutely play this game. You will like this game if you like Hades. If you don't like Hades, don't go anywhere near this game, because it offers nothing else. But I did really enjoy it. All right. That's it. I'm not even actually... Okay, straight to the title menu. Great. Okay, well, there's one more order of business. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. It has been fun, but we rolled credits, and so we are now going to delete you from our console and never play you again. Bye! Appreciate ya. Lots of fun.